Hello guys, so this is Risqi and I'm one of the tutor in Titik English course. Today I'd like to share you a couple of tips about how to boost your IELTS score exactly in speaking field. You ready? Okay, let's get started. The first one I'd like to share you about the general tips how to boost your score. Well, actually before you have your speaking test, the first thing you should do is relax. You should relax yourself because this will help you to control yourself. Actually, to do this thing for a couple of people, it's kind of different things. Maybe the first thing you could do by taking a deep breath, like what I did when I had my first examination in Surabaya. Okay, the second thing is you should smile. You should show your excitement and you should show to the examiner that you're a very kind person. So that's why you should smile. The third thing is you should enjoy the conversation. Maybe it's kind of hard thing, like hard question to answer, but maybe some people ask like why I should enjoy. Of course, this is your score, this is your examination, so you should enjoy it to get your higher or even your better score. To do this, you have to consider the examiner as your friend. You also need to show your respect and excitement. In the general conversation, if we show our excitement and respect to the other people, of course, our partner will do the same. And it works in IELTS as well. Okay. For the second thing is about the 4 major aspects assessed in IELTS speaking. The first one is about the fluency and coherence. For this part, you have to be fluent in speaking, of course. And then the length of your speech should be enough, not too short, but not too long. You should support your main idea with some of correlated supporting details. So, if your main idea tells about apple, you should support the other supporting details that explains about the apple, not the orange or the other fruit. Okay, and the second thing is about the lexical resources. For the lexical resources, you should provide lots of uncommon words, which is not common, and then idioms and phrasal verbs. For these things, this will help you to get higher score, maybe around 7, even higher. And the third thing, the grammatical range. You should provide lots of variation and combination some tenses, either it's present tense with present perfect tense or even with future tense, simple future tense. And then the combination with the active and passive sentences. Also, you could add lots of complex sentences or even compound complex sentences. So this really helps you a lot in boosting your score. And the last one is about the pronunciation. In speaking tests, you should be consistent in using your accent. Either it's American, British, or Australian. So you cannot combine, you cannot mix between American and British, or American with Australian, or Australian with British. You cannot do that. And in IELTS, it really matters to be consistent in using your accent. Don't forget about your clarity. So you should pronounce the word clearly to minimize the misunderstanding with the examiner. Maybe if you want to say parents, you should say parents, not Paris. It will be confusing if you pronounce it pretty bad. Okay, now let's move to the part 1, the tips for the part 1. For you guys, you should understand that part 1 is a warming up stage. Because it's warming up stage, you should relax yourself and you should answer the question not more than 2 until 3 sentences. Maybe some of you might ask, how can I do that? As I've explained before, you can manipulate it by using the complex sentences or compound complex sentences. And don't forget to minimize the word of because. We Indonesian, we are used to use the word of because in every kind of question we have. For example, what fruit do you like? I like watermelon because. You really have to be careful here. What's the questions actually ask you about? What fruit do you like? What? There's no question of why. You get it? Okay. And as I've explained before, you should add lots of uncommon words and complex sentences. This will really help you and assist you in boosting your IELTS speaking score if you want to get band 7 or even higher. Also, express your answer elegantly. I mean, like, you really have to show your feeling. If you're happy, you should show that you're happy. If you're sad, you have to show the expression of sad. Be careful as well with the plural and singular question. For example, what kinds of food that are popular in your country? Kinds of, the words of kinds of is a sign that the question is plural. So you cannot answer the question only with one answer. Okay, so let me give you the example to answer one of the questions from IELTS Speaking Part 1. Do you like vegetables? See, this is, do you like vegetables? So, because there is no the question like why or what, you cannot use the word of yes because. First, answer the question first. Do you, yes or no? Do you like vegetables? Yes, of course, I really love it. Vegetables or veggies contains lots of vitamins and minerals which are substantial for our body. It's pretty delish and healthy as well. Just as simple as that. You could also use the complex sentence. For example, tell me a little about your country. Well, actually, I live in Indonesia, which is located nearby Malaysia and Singapore. Indonesia is also well known as the archipelago island, which is blah blah blah. So I think that's all from me. Hopefully it'll be very useful for all of you who wants to take IELTS, and I hope it'll help you to boost your IELTS score, especially in speaking. So if you want to know more about Titik English course, don't forget to subscribe to Titik YouTube channel, exactly in Titik English course. And you could also stalk the Titik Instagram, which is Titik English. Thank you. Ciao.